Extreme heat alerts are blanketing the country right now as a brutal heat wave punishes the west and the southwest of this nation. Particularly hard hit is the state of Arizona, where sidewalks have reached temperatures high enough to cause contact burns. Death Valley may now notch a new record for the highest temperature ever reliably recorded. And Phoenix broke its daily record with a high temperature of 118 degrees. Now, these record-breaking temperatures are causing misery for the homeless and for outdoor workers in construction, package delivery, and farming. They are also exacerbating a problem that has been many years in the making: dwindling water supplies. High temperatures from climate change plus a long-term drought, also likely caused by climate change, are drying up rivers, groundwater, and reservoirs at an increased pace. In fact, this water crisis has gotten so dire that Arizona has decided to ban additional construction in certain Phoenix neighborhoods to try to slow the depletion of this absolutely vital resource. Now, these Western water wars have been escalating in every state in that part of the country, and they often pit rural residents who need water for irrigation with growing urban centers. But in Arizona, a new foe and new battle lines are being drawn because, as the Washington Post reports, and as we've discussed here before, one of the main consumers of water in the state doesn't have urban or rural Arizona roots or even American roots at all. A giant agribusiness with ties to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is guzzling up Arizona's water at a stunning clip. Here's the Washington Post, quote, "A mega drought has seared Arizona, stressing its rivers and reservoirs and reducing water to a trickle in the homes of farm workers near this desert valley. But green fields of alfalfa stretch across thousands of acres of the desert land, shimmering in the burning sunlight. Wells draw water from deep underground, turning the parched earth into verdant farmland. For nearly a decade, the state of Arizona has leased this rural terrain west of Phoenix to a Saudi-owned company, allowing it to pump all the water it needs to grow the alfalfa hay, a crop it exports to feed the kingdom's dairy cows." Now, in their own home country, the Saudis have actually banned growing water-intensive crops like alfalfa in order to protect their own limited water resources. So in order to feed their cows, they've turned to Arizona, exploiting the state's water usage laws to suck up vast quantities of local groundwater. And for years, they have faced next to no scrutiny, even denying Arizonans the ability to know just how much water they are actually using. The company, Fondamonte Arizona, aggressively lobbied the legislature and the governor, hiring key people with high-level connections. One of their top lobbyists had served as finance chair for the Arizona Republican Party, and as if that wasn't enough, they put a former Republican member of Congress on their payroll as well. Now, it made some sense to target Republicans, first of all, until quite recently the state was reliably red. Second of all, their pitch landed with free market conservative types who viewed water as part and parcel of the property rights of landowners rather than as a public resource to be managed collectively. Perfect example of how companies and foreign governments have figured out how to use our own free market ideology against us. Now, the company also took advantage of the relative poverty of the county that their farm is in to attempt to foster goodwill. They donated a few $1,000s to the local high school for sports programs, pony up the cash to buy white paint needed for a local landmark, purchased company-branded face masks for local distribution during the COVID pandemic. Small potatoes for them, but a big deal for a local community that was starved for funds. In this program of buying politicians and buying local goodwill, it worked for years. But as drought, heat, and scarcity have become urgent problems, the company has come under some increasing scrutiny. Accordingly, the new Democratic governor, Katie Hobbs, has signaled a tougher line. In a sign of mounting pressure, the company was forced for the first time to reveal just how much water it is actually sucking up, and the number is pretty shocking. They announced they had used 16,415 acre-feet of water in a single year. Now, for perspective, that's equivalent to the water usage of an entire city of 50,000 people, just this one company. It's enough, as the Post put it, to cover 12,500 football fields with a foot of water, again, in a single year. And this did not go to feed, bathe, or cool human beings. It went to feed cows in Saudi Arabia, because that country has wisely decided to conserve their own resources while, of course, guzzling ours. Goes without saying that in a drought-stricken state, this astonishing level of water usage is a threat local farmers and city dwellers are facing alike. In fact, it's already having major impacts locally where wells are running dry and the very workers who tend those alfalfa fields have to haul buckets of water for showers and cooking. According to a proposal that the Post was able to get their hands on, Governor Hobbs is considering taking significant action, potentially even blocking Fondamonte's land leases when they expire. It's not so easy to take on big business, so if she does, she should definitely be applauded. We need a whole mental shift, though, on how these questions are handled. How do we handle competing interests in a time of resource scarcity? What core interests need to be protected from the whims of the free market? And who should our economy and regulatory environment actually be set up to serve? As our world warms and disasters become more common, more devastating, these questions are only going to become more difficult to resolve and the stakes that much more catastrophic. Sagar, it really fits with the conversation we had earlier about. Hey guys, if you like that video, go to breakingpoints.com, become a premium subscriber, and help us build the best independent media organization on the planet.
That's right. We're subscriber funded. We're building something new. We want to replace these failing mainstream media organizations.
So again, to subscribe, it's breakingpoints.com.